I did a video about the ways Donald Trump could be impeached. However, in spite of all these facts, his supporters remain completely ignorant or in denial of his wrongdoings. It's said that Nixon may have kept his job if we had the right-wing media that we have right now. Studies show that people on the right tend to get their news from one to very few sources, while people on the left get theirs from many. And people who watch Fox News are actually less informed on current events than people who don't pay attention to the news at all. Here are the top 10 ways right-wing media keeps its viewers ignorant. Number 10, it takes the trappings of news with none of the actual elements of news, so it appears legitimate and is way cheaper. Roger Ailes figured out early on that journalism is really expensive. Reporters have to go into the field, and they have to have contacts. They have to have fact-checkers on staff. Opinions, however, are cheap and a dime a dozen. But if you do it in a way that looks like a legitimate news that people have been programmed to trust, you can look like legitimate news and say whatever you want. In science, we call this cult science, where people with fringe ideas that can't publish in legitimate journals with peer review will make their own journals without quite understanding the point of the peer review and journals to begin with. Since no one sees what's going on in the news, on the back end, people will see a news broadcast and just blindly trust it because it's news. Number 9, they make issues out of non-issues. From the war on Christmas, to Benghazi, to Obama chewing gum, eating arugula, or wearing brown as president, right-wing media is all about making issues out of non-issues while ignoring any fault of the right wing, such as the fact that Benghazi only happened because the Republican Congress drastically cut funding to the State Department security budget, and Bush and Reagan had embassy bombings under their watches with more deaths, but since Hillary was running, she was their target and the worst person ever because of Benghazi. Number 8, it sells its viewers what they want to hear. If you happen to already be predisposed to dislike Obama or need a reason to be outraged, conservative media has your back. They will always create something for you to get your blood pressure up. If they don't make mountains out of molehills, they will make up something. Google and Facebook didn't help either. They created new algorithms to pay for clicks and find what you are most likely to click on. And nearly 10 million people use Facebook as their sole source of information in the US elections, and ended up getting flooded by both the left and the right from fake news, many created by teenagers in Moldova. Number 7, they often use real news for legitimacy. Fox does have an hour of actual news, so they can have the name Fox News. On top of that, they have affiliates of local news all over the nation, and local TV news stations are viewed as most legitimate news, and since the name Fox is always associated, it gives Fox the appearance of legitimacy. Most of the affiliates are owned by one right-wing family called the Sinclair Group, that for the most part lets them do what they want, but they do on occasion make the affiliate push a story over others that gives the right an advantage, or a right-wing daily rant on millennial snowflakes. Number 6, they use the people's media. Rush, Alex Jones, Breitbart, radio, and the internet, viewed by many as much simpler media, not elitist and therefore trustworthy. The opposite couldn't be more true. Breitbart is heavily backed financially by right-wing wealthy. Rush is a ridiculously wealthy, even though he lets the average Joe comment on his show. The man is disconnected from the average Joe in so many ways. Alex Jones is disconnected from reality and will say literally anything just to see if it sticks, makes predictions that never happen, and to regain custody of his children, claimed he was playing a character as a horrible person for comedy, even though millions of Americans trust him, including the president who cites him. Oh yeah, also he's constantly pushing crap that makes him lots of money that literally doesn't do anything. Number 5, they anticipate reactions and call their opponents that long before, so it dulls the impact. Republicans in general are geniuses at this. They will call the Democrats something like a flip-flopper, death panels, or a celebrity, or claim the election is rigged. Then when they do the very same thing they're claiming about Democrats, it has a much weaker impact in people's minds, because it feels like the Democrats are just plagiarizing the Republicans now, even though everything they're saying is 100% true. Number 4, they help perpetuate the myth that all sides do it. When you take a side and focus on and freak out about their faults, which everyone has because we're all human, or a group made of humans, yet ignore your side's extreme faults, people come away with the impression that both sides are equally bad. If you compare it quantitatively, the comparisons aren't even close. Because of right-wing media, Democrats are held to a much higher standard in the public eye, such as sexting Democrat who can't return to public office, and cheating Trump and Gingrich or any other Republican can totally get elected if they find the Lord again. Number 3, they predict possible outcomes. Alex Jones does this a lot. He will know the attacks levied against him by the left before he says it, tell people about what they're going to say, and it feels like he's got great predictive, almost mystical level knowledge that appears to give him more legitimacy, even though it's obvious it's exactly the response he would get. Number 2, they play the victim. Remember, the right is the victim. The liberal mainstream media is all in on this, and we are the only ones telling you the truth, so don't watch them. Obama wants to shut us down and take away our freedom of speech for speaking truth to power, things Obama never even hinted at, and now Trump wants to have the rules put in place to weaken the free press that speaks badly about him, and Fox and the right is completely agreeing with him. Number 1, they create team and brand loyalty. The bubble cult they create is akin to team or brand loyalty, that providing non-stop apologetics for their viewers and flooding them with misinformation so they never go anywhere else for news. A funny thing is, Fox helped explode the conservative brand, but their viewership is dying faster than just the elderly viewers dying off. Many are leaving to only get their information from Rush Limbaugh or Breitbart, as Fox has become too liberal for them. What goes around comes around. Hey there, thanks so much for watching. Please like, rate, and subscribe, and consider supporting me on Patreon. Also, check out my WordPress blog. This week's topic discusses how you should be aware and many times skeptical of anti-American agitprop or agitation propaganda, even if what they're saying about America is 100% true. Thank you.